Oneshell Media International proudly present.
Five most notorious prisons ever. Number 5, Black Hole of Calcutta.
In the mid-18th century, the East India Company was more powerful than some countries. In Calcutta they built a fort to protect their interests locally. But the local Indian ruler besieged the fort. Those inside were thrown into a small dungeon known as the Black Hole of Calcutta. Survivors' accounts tell of around 150 captives locked in a dungeon so small they could barely close the door. It wasn't long before most died of suffocation. They were locked inside for just one night. But by the next morning just 21 were still alive. A monument to those who died now stands in place of the Black Hole of Calcutta.
Number 4, Chateau d'If.
In the Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond Dantes is sent to a remote prison known as Inescapable. Well, that prison once existed in reality, on a small French island. A fort was built on the island in the 1500s, but as it was never actually needed for defensive purposes, was transformed into a prison. For 3 centuries it was feared as a place where people were locked away until death. Political prisoners could be sent here just for saying the wrong thing. No one ever escaped from the prison. Those who got past the thick castle walls were frowned by the strong current.
Number 3, HMS Jersey.
In the American Revolution, captured rebels were kept in various places. Many were kept in prison ships. Such ships would be stripped and filled with prisoners. Overcrowding and neglect would give notoriety to British prison ships. The most notorious was the HMS Jersey. Those kept on board knew it simply as hell. As guards were known to sell prisoner rations for their own financial gain, captives would often die of starvation. What food they did get was worm-infested and rancid. Between 6 and 14 prisoners died per day on board. 1,000 were kept on board at any one time and the ship's total death toll was 11,000. That's about 3 times as many Americans who died in battle.
Number 2, the Tower of London.
To me, all of London is terrifying. But if I were a 17th century renegado, the Tower of London would be especially scary. It wasn't built as a prison. By over many centuries it held traitorous nobles, foreign spies, and gangsters. It was notorious as a place people were kept before being beheaded, and on occasion, disappearing. Richard III had his 2 nephews locked in the tower. They were never seen publicly again. The remains of 2 children were later found in the tower. It's thought Richard had them killed to stop their possible claim to the throne. The tower's last execution happened in 1941. It was a Nazi spy found with forged documents and a German sausage. As an enemy soldier they could not hang him. So he was shot. To make a list of the most notorious prisons and not include the Tower of London would be borderline evil. Maybe not evil, but still.
Number 1, Urga Prison.
Mongolia seems like it's always been a brutal place. In 1920 the Western world got a chilling glimpse into life for Mongolian prisoners. In the country's capital, serious criminals were confined to small boxes. The boxes were essentially coffins, usually kept within dark dungeons. The type of place insanity doesn't take long to set in. Apart from being sparsely given food through a hole in their boxes, prisoners were largely neglected. Many died from exhaustion in the summer and in the winter from hypothermia without authorities seeming to care. The practice was finally outlawed in 1920.
Please like and subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates.